Okay, so in this video, we're going to put together the Noel Twist Pop card. And I know a lot of you have been waiting for this style of card to be released in SVG format, and we're going to bring that to you today. And what we're going to do is begin with these two pieces. This is the base of the card. Okay, one of them has a tab here. This is kind of too big to fit on one mat. So what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on this little tab here. Just make sure that you get a little bit of glue out to the edge. And we're just going to glue this one here on top of the other one. And do your best to get this nice and aligned, because this card is mechanical and we need it to be somewhat precise. Okay, and once it has its initial grip, you can kind of fold it in half and kind of scooch it around and adjust it to make sure that you've got it nice and aligned. Okay, so we have that. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to get this piece ready, and this is the actual folding portion of the card. Okay, so go ahead and get everything creased at the score marks, and we're going to connect these two pieces together. This actually goes together very easily. It may look a little tricky, but it's actually one of the easier cards for us to engineer out of all three of the cards that are in this bundle. So just get that glued in place. And once it gets its hold, again, you can kind of fold it in half and just run your finger along the top there, just to make sure that everything is nice and aligned. Here is the main mechanism, okay? And what we want to do is want to fold everything along the score lines just to kind of train everything. So do it back and forth just to make sure that you've got it nice and trained. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these two sides and fold them in so that they meet like this. Okay, and then we're just going to fold this flat. They are going to slightly overlap a little bit, and that's fine. Go ahead and just push this down. Make sure that that's nice and creased. And what we're going to do is on this piece here, you'll notice that there's a tiny little score mark. Okay, and that is the center. So what we're going to do is we need to glue this so that this tip is up to this crease, and you want it centered where that score mark is. Okay, so that is, you can go ahead and put this at like a 90-degree angle and just match it up with that score mark, and that is where it needs to be glued down. Okay, so as long as you have it like that, so it's butting up against that little edge there, and you have it centered with the little mark, that is where you're going to place your glue. Okay, so actually what we can do is we can go ahead and put glue on this triangular piece here. I think it's just more precise if we do it this way. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just put a nice amount of glue on here. And then we can take this and close it down. Make sure that it's nice and level. Okay, and just push and hold that down until it's nice and dry. Okay, and now once that piece is dry, you can go ahead and flip it around, and we can put glue on this piece here. Okay. And then we can take this other side and push that down and hold that down until it gets a good hold. Okay, so as you can see, there is the element. Okay, and then what we're going to do, and we can go ahead and grab this piece here. Now this piece, the only thing you need to glue on this piece are the letters, and it really doesn't matter which way you do it. Okay, it's pretty much the same. So you're going to glue down your letters, your Noel. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because it's pretty self-explanatory. Just do your best to get everything nice and aligned and centered. Okay, just like that. And once you have that glued on, which I'm not going to do, but you are, we're going to go ahead and glue this to this. Now, this isn't going to lay completely flat, and that's totally fine. So what we're going to do is we're also going to take this piece here and align that with this other score mark here. Okay, and now the only place that we're putting glue is in this little square area here where you have the two score marks. You're only putting glue here, and you're only putting glue here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue within this little area here, and I'm going to put glue in this area here. Okay, and again, you can kind of curve it like this, just to make sure that you've got it nice and centered. Okay, that looks good to me. And then go ahead and push down here and push down here. Just make sure that it's nice and level as well. That will make or break it. Now, mine wasn't level, so I'm going to try that one more time. And even I make mistakes, guys. So for those of you that are new to all this, that are afraid to try these things, don't be. Because it's just paper. And actually, it kind of helps if I stand up and maybe look at what I'm doing to make sure that I've got it nice and aligned. And this time I have it nice and aligned. So I'm just going to push and hold that down until it's nice and dry. And you'll see just how easy this is. Now, the first time you close this thing, it may be kind of weird. And it may take a few openings and closings to get it just right. But it will eventually do what it's designed to do. Okay, now this middle part, this part should actually be creased this way. Okay, so now when we go to close it, there we go. So just get it closed. And you really got to work the paper to get it to train it so that it pops open and close. Okay, so that is how that works. Now, the interior is a lot thicker than the exterior, so obviously we fix that by just adding our special little panels that we have. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to take these layers here, and I have a circle that didn't come out. Okay, so that's going to get glued on like so. And then we have, now we did this in a gold foil. I just cut it out of yellow cardstock for the tutorial, but you can do this in a nice gold foil if you want. So that gets glued right there, like that. So you're going to glue these two pieces, the yellow one, or in your case it's probably going to be a foil, and the green one to this white sheet. Okay, and then that is going to get glued right here. You just want to make sure you do your best to get that nice and centered. So for the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to pretend that I glued those two layers on this piece, and then we're going to glue this on. And if you want to do these one at a time on the actual card, you can do that too. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just make sure that you get that nice and centered. Just like that. Okay. And then on the bottom, we have this piece here. Okay. And then we have a white piece that goes over it. So you're going to glue this on top of this piece, and then you're going to center that on the bottom part. So I'm going to pretend that this is glued on here, and we're just going to go ahead and glue this down. Don't want to do too much because this is your journaling area, and you want to do a thin line of glue on that so that it doesn't warp or bulge out as far as the glue goes. Okay, And just get that glued down. Of course, again, yours is going to say Noel right there. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the interior. I jazzed it up with some gold rhinestones in these little corners here. Okay, so as you can see here, again, you just got to kind of train it a few times so that it remembers how to fold. Okay, but there is the mechanism, and that's how it works. And then again, we're actually going to stiffen this up even more by adding a panel on the front. Okay, so this panel here is going to go on the front, so we can go ahead and get that glued down. I'm going to put a nice thin line of glue in the middle, and then make sure that I get a nice line of glue out to the edge. Make sure that it holds nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to center that. I'm sitting down. I would probably do this standing up right now to make sure that I've got it nice and centered. Okay, and then we have our candle. And actually, there's one thing that I forgot to mention, and I just made a boo-boo. This thing should be upside down. I should have put it on the other way because there are a series of score marks on this piece. Okay, there's 3 little score marks on one side, and that helps you align the candle. So we'll go ahead and glue our candle into place using the score marks as a guide. Okay. Get that glued in place. I think it's probably easier if you have the 3 little score marks at the bottom, but it's okay. I messed up. Twice now I've messed up, but that's okay because it happens. And then we have these 2 pieces here, okay? This white piece is basically a plate, okay? And you're gonna align that to the bottom of this piece here. Okay, so you're going to glue that on like so. Let me go ahead and do that. So we'll get that matched up and glued on. And then just like a little puzzle piece, we're going to put glue on this piece and just kind of slide that underneath the candle into place. Should lock in almost like a little puzzle piece. Okay, and then we have 2 little pieces for the flame. Okay, and actually, yeah, you do actually want to follow, you do want the 3 score marks at the bottom because this should actually be a little bit lower than it is. So make sure you do that. Make sure you have 3 little score marks on this white sheet at the bottom, and you want to align the candle at the bottom because my candle is a little bit too high. But your flame is going to go on like that, and the secondary little piece is going to be glued on right there. Okay, and that leaves just one more thing. It's the little band that kind of holds this thing together. So you've got this piece here. We're going to fold that in half. And we're going to glue this tab to the other end of this to hold that in place. So we can go ahead and do that. Just make sure that you've got it nice and lined up. And just push that down until it gets a good grip. Then we have our little holly leaves here. And we're going to glue that like so. And then we're going to take our little berries and get those glued into place like that, okay? And then we're gonna take this whole contraption and just glue it onto our band. Okay, so as you can see, here is my first band. And again, just get all these pieces pieced together and glued together, and you're gonna glue it on pretty much right where I have it, okay, right there. So I don't need to do that since you can already see what it looks like. And that is going to just slide over your card and hold it into place. And you're going to want to, when you give it and put it in the envelope, you want to just kind of put it right around there. So you see a little bit of the plate and the little doily. And then when your recipient gets it, they can just open it up and voila. So here's my final version, and as you can see, opens and closes nicely. And we do have an envelope, and actually before I show you the envelope, I do want to mention that we did emboss the white pieces, not all of them, not this one, because this is where you're going to do your stamping and your journaling. We embossed these, added some nice green rhinestones here, and some gold rhinestones there. No inking on this card at all. And yeah, it's beautiful. And we did include an envelope with it, which I want to show you real quick here. This is the envelope. Okay, there's one other piece here. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold this over, fold all these tabs in. Okay, and I'm going to bring these in first, and it folds over like that. So we just need to apply glue to these little sections here. Okay, just like that. And just close that up. And just hold that down for a second. Just make sure that it gets a good grip. And then we just need to glue this piece on right here, so it shows that beautiful star. And you want to try to get that nice and centered in there as well. And when you're applying the glue, I would actually start with little dabs, little dots all around this. It's very hard to get like a nice line in here because it's such a delicate little piece. So just get little dots in there, even on these little tiny little pieces here. It's definitely possible. And you may want to just kind of brush it slightly so it doesn't smear everywhere. And then go ahead and put a little bit of glue along the outside and just glue that down. Make sure you've got it nice and centered. And there is your envelope. And you can go ahead and get this thing ready. And just pop it right in here. And bam, your card's ready to go.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.